I tried beating Calamity 2.0 only using flamethrowers. That is correct, setting ablaze all of the bosses and enemies that cross my path and being hugely underpowered, as the flamethrowers are not quite polished. Will Boio be able to defeat calamitas in this video, or will he give up and cry himself to sleep just like every other night? Well, let's find out. I started off by spawning into the beautiful world of Terraria's Calamity Mod. I went through all of the various ranged weapons and tried to see what flamethrowers were actually in the original Calamity Mod. Sadly, from what I found, there were only 2 that we could actually craft, but there were far more with the introduction of the Calamity Extra Flamethrowers mod. I really hope that's what it's called. Anyways, before I can actually craft myself a flamethrower, I will be using every other weapon that's in my arsenal just to navigate my way around the starting world of Calamity. The first flamethrower we had to craft was the Spark Spreader. This is within the original version of the Calamity mod and is the most underpowered flamethrower that you could ever imagine. The Spark Spreader, being crafted out of a flare gun, a ruby, and some gel, was the first flamethrower that we had to craft. Before doing any of that though, I needed to find myself a flare gun, so I decided to build some NPC houses and start digging myself a elevator. I explored the overworld to absolutely find nothing, but during this time I did craft myself an anvil, a furnace, and I got myself some gel. I was in search for rubies, but that will be found far further down within the caverns. As I was digging my elevator, I slipped on a banana peel and I died. I continued digging my elevator in search for ores. I managed to stumble upon this massive Calamity building, which houses like those cells that you need to get for the exomechs, but you know, I don't really fight the exomechs because they're too difficult for me, so I skipped right past it. Anyways, by this time I had a solid pickaxe. I was mining. I had a lot of life crystals, so I upped my HP almost all the way up to max, and once I came up to the surface, having enough slime and having found some rubies, I crafted myself the Spark Spreader. Now you see, boyos, there was a massive problem. We were eating up gel like crazy, and I mean it was insane. We could not fight a single mob whatsoever, so I had to strategize, and I came up with the most brilliant idea. Upon building some NPC houses, I decided that I was either going to need to build myself a slime farm out of statues or farm out the king slime, because the Calamity boss summons are actually non-consumable, so we can use one king slime summon, beat him over and over again, take out all of his slimes, and actually get more gel after defeating him. So I set out to make myself the summon for the king slime. I got myself the platinum crown, and once I made the summon, I built an arena and started fighting him. We managed to take him out, and upon taking out the king slime, I actually went from like 13 gel all the way up to over 200. This was quite literally the strat that we will have to stick with for quite a while. Also, what I figured out is you could actually like craft the banners into 200 gel, so that was also pretty cool. Anyways, I farmed out the king slime many more times up until we had like 300 gel, and then I tried to make myself like an AFK slime gel farm, but that did not turn out too well because I did not have any wires. During this time, I decided to craft myself Desert Prowler armor, which is a ranged set of armor within the Calamity mod. This of course lets our flamethrowers do far more damage, and right after I had a decent set of armor, I decided to go over to the corruption, chuck some bombs at the little hearts so we could summon in the dreaded brain of Cthulhu. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Boio's brain is the brain of Cthulhu, question mark, question mark, question mark. Anyways, the brain of Cthulhu spawned in. I killed all of its little servants, as you know, I had overpowered armor and I'm the best player of the Calamity Terraria mod, of course. So we took out the brain of Cthulhu very easily, and now we could finally craft ourselves the Demonite pickaxe, or what is it called? The Deathbringer pickaxe? Come on, bro. You guys are already mad at me for mixing up like adamantite and titanium, and you're gonna kill me for not calling it a Deathbringer pickaxe, no? Yeah. Anyways, I decided to start mining myself up some hellstone so we can upgrade our gear, and as I was mining hellstone, we actually got invaded by a goblin army. I managed to take out the goblin army, and then I went to go fight the king slime once more for even more gel. I went to go fight the perforators just because, you know, I could, and the Spark Spreader was more than powerful enough to take it out, especially with our armor and accessories. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I probably should have got a better weapon, but hey, what can you do, right? I fought the king slime more to get even more gel. We were up to 1,200 gel by this point, and I spent the rest of the time essentially just trying to get better accessories. Right after this, I went over to the Sky Islands, got myself a bunch of resources in order to craft myself a new set of armor. This was of course Aerialite armor, and it was the next best armor set that we can get. We were very underpowered when it came to our actual flamethrower. You know, the whole point of this playthrough is to actually kill bosses with flamethrowers, and well, my flamethrower is extremely garbage. When I was in hell, I got myself a guide voodoo demon, and in order to get our very next flamethrower that is pre-Skeletron, we had to go fishing in the brimstone crag. So I went fishing, caught myself a dragoon drizzlefish, and with our newfound power, we can go and challenge Skeletron. While I went over to Skeletron's dungeon, we actually got surprised by a acid rain, and so while waiting for nighttime, I decided to finesse the mobs that were attacking me. Anyways, we summoned in Skeletron, and it was super easy to take Skeletron out. I mean, like, this was stupid with the dragoon drizzlefish. It was beyond easy. So once entering the dungeon, I picked up a bunch of water candles, and after that, I made myself the battle cry, which essentially just increases the mob spawn rates 10 times over. After this, I went to go fight the slime god, and using the shade thrower, which was a new flamethrower I crafted out of demonite bars, rotten matter, and rotten chunk, we proceeded to demolish the slime god. Upon taking out the slime god, we were ready to challenge the wall of flesh, so without hesitation, I went down to the underworld, buffed up, and defeated the wall of flesh using the dragoon drizzlefish and the shade thrower. And now we were officially in hard mode. I went to go break the crimson altars to get myself a couple of souls a night, as it's going to come very useful within the crafting recipes very soon, and we could now prepare to fight the mechanical bosses. Do you know what else we can prepare to do? That is right, prepare our brains for the insane launch of these Boio plushies that are dropping very soon. We have a limited supply of them of the original version. There's going to be many more versions coming out, so if you want to be the founder, the supporter of the Boio hype train club, the worst Terraria Calamity player to ever exist, I recommend you pick up this plushie. Come on, look how cute it is. Look how cute it is. Look how cute it is. You can find it in the first link of the description. Thank you. Let's get on to the video. The next thing I went to go do was pick up myself some hellstone for whatever undisclosed reason that I wanted to pick up hellstone. But then after this, I went back into the caves again to try to get myself some cobalt or palladium. I fought the wall of flesh and got myself a meow thrower, which is a flamethrower dropped by the wall, and it was the next best flamethrower that we could realistically use. I went over to the Sunken Sea in order to get myself enough materials to craft ourselves the next best armor set of the ranger class, and then I also farmed out a bunch of more king slimes. I had myself the summon for all 3 mechanical bosses, and once I made myself a full set of mollusk armor, I decided to challenge our very first mechanical boss. We destroyed the destroyer, get it? And after this, we got ourselves some mithril and orichalcum. And like, let's be honest, the only reason I got it was to get myself an anvil so I can craft myself harpy wings. That is right, harpy wings are actually the best pre-mech boss wings in the game. Don't at me. I'm definitely right. Don't look into it, okay? Just trust me, bro. Trust me. We ended up fighting the twins next, and so I decided to take out Spasmatism first, and then we took out Retinazer, and that is always the order you should fight them in. I decided to leave Skeletron Prime for last because he's probably the hardest one out of all of them, and then after this, I went mining adamantite and got myself an adamantite pickaxe so we can actually mine hallowed ore, and once I made myself a pickaxe axe, I went over to the ice biome. Now, why is Boio in the ice biome? Well, I need to fight Cryogen in order to get myself cryonic ore so then we can craft a bunch of other things later within the game that don't really matter, but they do because they're like essential for progression. So yeah, you need to fight Cryogen when playing Calamity, or else you're just gonna die. Anyways, I was on the hunt for cryonic ore for a long time, and once I got it, I came back to spawn, and I don't know what I did. I went back to sleep, bro. I crafted myself Daedalus armor, and then we were ready to fight calamitas and Plantera and all the other scary bosses that come after the mechs. With my trusty meow thrower, I was ready to try and challenge Plantera or either calamitas. I actually went to the jungle and decided to fight Plantera first, so I dug out like a tiny arena and then decided to spam her with the meow thrower. I did take her out, surprisingly. I genuinely thought I was going to die, but I managed to defeat her. Our next boss was calamitas, and I was scared for this one. I'm not gonna lie, I was very scared as I was very unprepared. Like, come on, my flamethrower was pure garbage, so I actually decided to craft a Terra thrower. That is correct. Now, how do you craft a Terra thrower, you may ask Boio? You will not believe this. It was actually made using a flamethrower, a living shard, and essence of sunlight. Essence of sunlight is a material that you get from any mob that lives within the sky, and living shards you get from Plantera, I thing. Anyways, I crafted myself the Terra Thrower only to figure out that it actually wasn't even as good as the Meow Thrower, so yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Anyways, here we are, calamitas, the next boss we have to fight. As I stood on my platform using the Eye of Desolation, I buffed up and summoned in calamitas. We started off with some basic projectiles that we had to dodge, you know, basic calamitas, and once we took her, is it a her? Once we took her down to probably 3/4 of her HP, she did the legendary little Death's Skull attack. I wonder what the real name for this is. The Skull of Boio. I coin that term now. Anyways, we took her down to half HP and she summoned in her beautiful twins. So we took those out. That was pretty cool. And then after another round of those Boio Death Skulls, we took out calamitas. That is where this video ends. And if you want to watch the other one, I will make a part 2 very soon where I go defeat Supreme Calamitas only using Flamethrowers. So if you enjoyed this video and want to see part 2, drop a like on the video. Check out another video like this on screen while you're waiting for the new one. This has been Boio. Peace out.